Calvin's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, and with only 9 years in the NFL, that's got kind of a Sandy Koufax feel, where Sandy Koufax didn't have a long career, but he was so great that it was acknowledged that we'd probably never seen anything quite like it. But Calvin is such a humble guy. He is now joining us live, the Pro Football Hall of Famer, 6-time Pro Bowler. So you just celebrated your 36th birthday yesterday. What does a Hall of Famer do on your 36th birthday? Cake, long drive, coach your kids. What did you do yesterday?
We keep it simple, man. We go downtown Detroit, stay at the Shinola, get a nice little suite, and go to a great dinner. Just keep it simple.
Well, my wife's a Michigan girl, so I love that you still live there. Michigan's an absolutely beautiful state. Calvin, you did something that's very hard. It is easy to retire when the legs don't work, and it's easy to retire when the coach wants to cut you. It's very difficult to retire when you're still great. So there is something above the shoulders. There is some confidence in yourself. There's something about your personality that you were totally comfortable doing it. You're still completely comfortable doing it. And I think it's the hardest thing I don't think winning's the hardest. I think shutting it down when you can still be wildly productive. Was there ever a minute when you were driving in the car somewhere in Detroit and thought, man, I miss Sundays?
No, I mean, the one thing you miss is the camaraderie. You do miss that 100%. But I never miss running, 3 miles a day at practice. Nobody misses the grunt work of it all. But you miss those times in the locker room or those times when you're spending, off the field with each other's families. Those are the times that we miss the most.
Yeah. 11 years ago, you started something crazy in the NFL. You made a catch in the NFL 11 years ago, and it was ruled a non-catch. And I remember sitting on my couch watching it. And I remember thinking, the hell just happened? I don't understand the rule. and you remember that moment. And then for the next 9 years, we lived in this weird world where catches were no longer catches. Do you take me back to that moment? Do you remember it? What were you thinking?
I remember exactly. I remember catching the ball. I remember going up and getting it. I remember going to the ground. I remember getting up and taking off and leaving the ball on the ground and just game over, walk off.
Right.
And then I remember, matter of seconds later, you hear whistles and referees joining up in the middle of the field. I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? And they call it off, and then all you heard was probably cuss words from the Detroit sideline.
It is crazy. Well, they eventually came to their senses. And we all know that Detroit's been a franchise that struggled, and Matt Stafford has moved on to, I think, a much better place. With Stafford, we always know he's got a good arm. That's obvious. I can see that without being in your film study. Give me some other stuff about Matt that you really enjoyed and appreciated that maybe I don't see or fans don't see on Sunday.
Yeah, Matt's a guy. He's going to know his locker room. He's going to talk to everybody that's on the field, everybody that's on that team. He's going to have a good rapport with everybody. And I think that's why everybody feels comfortable with him being their leader on the team. Whether it was here in Detroit, you didn't hear anything negative coming out of here about it as far as culture or anything like that as it relates to Matthew. Because all Matthew did was put his head down and work. And everybody, that's what you respect out of your leader. And like you said, man, being out there in LA is almost like a fog off of him. I tell everybody, I saw him in that first game. It was like some kind of penalty or something happened in the game. He had to look almost as if, oh, shoot, well, if I was in Detroit, that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't have been down like that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're all of us, Joy and I and you, we are all limited based on the culture that we inherit or that we're around in management, and that's just the reality of it. And after 9 years, you shut it down. I imagine when you first came into the league, you're hopeful and optimistic, but was there a point in year 4 or 5 you're just like, man, I'm putting in the effort and we're losing too many football games? Did you feel that 4 or 5 years in with the Lions?
Year 2, man. We were 0-16.
Yeah.
I remember 0-16, that last game. We were 0-15 at the time, and we're going to Green Bay to 0 degrees. So, a lot of people already chalked that up, even half the team already. I remember sitting on the bench after the game, and it was myself, it was Gossard, Chairless, and it was Cliff Averill. And we were sitting there and was like, man, how long? I don't know how long I want to do this. Is this how it is? But literally, we were saying those words like, oh, man, it can't be like this. That was a rough year. Yeah. That was low and low.
When you came into this league, the rules were different. You could still go up top, hit receivers. It is a completely different league from you entering it until now, where it's easier to be a wide receiver. Do you think, Calvin, now, if you came into the league as a rookie, would it change your routes? Would it change how you play because you know you're not going to be punitively punished over the middle? A lot of guys wouldn't even go over the middle. And I can remember hearing people talk about this for years, like Michael Irvin was the one Cowboy receiver willing to go over the middle. Would you be a different receiver today?
Well, I don't think so. I feel like, I was like almost out there like LeBron James, or like, you don't get the calls. Like they'll be holding on to you after 5 yards, pushing you around, but they're like, hey, you're big, you can handle it. So for me, I don't think that would have really had an effect or effect on the game. And even today, I still see guys going across the middle with alligator arms like they're about to get smacked, even though they still can get smacked, So I don't think it's had it's had somewhat of an impact on the game, but I don't watch enough, I guess, to really, see the finer details there.
By the way, what's the biggest takeaway? You are part of A Football Life, premieres Friday at 9 Eastern on the NFL Network. Calvin Johnson, A Football Life. It's a 1-hour show. Matt Stafford, Nate Burleson, Dan Orlovsky, Jim Caldwell. You've seen it. What do you I will watch it. What do you want the takeaway to be on that?
I haven't actually seen it. I gave the interviews, but I haven't seen, all of my coaches or players, give their input. I look forward to seeing that, but really just a final message to the fans on, why I did why I retired, if there's any kind of misconception, so they know from the source. It ain't no hearsay, and any other thing that might be lingering out there. I don't know what else it might be, but just how I am, the way I am, just my culture, being raised and whatnot. I think you'll be able to get a good feel for that from my parents and family as well.
Yeah. By the way, at 36 years old, how do you feel today? When you shut it down a little earlier, you probably feel a little better in your joints. How do you feel today? Are you active, still athletic?
Yes. I'm in the quality of life business now, just trying to help people find ways to better their life, whether it's, just really trying to find solutions for pain and cognitive disorders. That's what's tailoring, or that's my push right now. That's my profession, is really just trying to find ways. And that's where we created a brand Primitive Group in Michigan. And that's really just to destigmatize the cannabis plant and really educate people on the healing powers of that plant. I think the big part of it is really just educating people on what, cannabis is to what it means to our body. And a lot of people don't understand that we have what is called an endocannabinoid system. So really just starting right there and doing research on your endocannabinoid system and going from there, I think it'll be able to start that education process, and we can better understand the healing powers of this plant.
One of the greats of all time, Calvin Johnson. Remarkable how many records you hold in the NFL, and you did it so quickly, so swiftly in 9 years. It's great seeing you. Congrats on the Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Colin. Great to see you. Thanks, Joe.
You bet. Calvin Johnson. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.